Today we're diving into how teachers can effectively explain climate change policies to students.
That's right. The goal is to help students understand the impact of their transport choices on the environment.
Exactly. So, how do we start this lesson?
We begin with a relatable scenario. For instance, let's talk about Paul.
Paul lives in Marseille and wants to visit his grandmother in Bordeaux.
He compares transport options. The train costs 110 euros and takes 6 hours.
But the plane costs 108 euros and only takes 1 hour.
So Paul chooses the plane. But here's the catch, 30% of that flight price goes to government taxes.
Interesting. This sets the stage for our next question.
Right. We ask, how can we encourage people to choose climate-friendly transport?
That's a big question. What's the next step?
Next, we make the students actors in the process.
How do we do that?
We tell them they are members of the European executive proposing a law.
They need to argue for less carbon-intensive transport options.
Exactly. This engages them in real-world policymaking.
And then they research independently for 40 minutes.
Yes, they construct their arguments based on their findings.
What if some students struggle?
We provide supporting documents to help them.
That's a great idea. What are some success criteria for the students?
They should compare CO2 emissions of trains and planes.
And also compare ticket prices for the same journey.
Exactly. They should suggest a government measure to promote climate-friendly transport.
And conclude by discussing the importance of guiding people towards low carbon options.
Right. For example, ticket prices are similar, but planes are much faster.
So people prefer planes even though they produce way more CO2.
To change this, we could lower train ticket prices or raise plane ticket taxes.
That puts the responsibility on politicians to make a change.
Absolutely. Now let's look at a hopeful story from a 2021 article in Nature.
What does it say?
It discusses negative emission technologies that can help meet the Paris Agreement goals.
Like a forestation and carbon capture?
Yes, it also mentions using basalt to remove CO2 from the atmosphere.
That sounds promising. How does basalt help?
Basalt improves soil fertility and enhances carbon storage.
So it's a win-win for the environment,
Exactly. This technology can be rapidly scaled up.
and it can be deployed in existing land systems.
Right. Achieving high net CO2 removal will require careful planning.
So we need to use low carbon energy sources for this.
Yes. This connects back to our main topic of transport choices.
It really does. Students can see how policies impact user behavior.
And they can argue for effective climate policies.
What's the key takeaway from this discussion?
The importance of guiding people towards low carbon transport options.
And how policies can influence those choices?
Exactly. So, what can we do to encourage more sustainable transport choices?
That's a thought-provoking question. It's something everyone should consider.